Hello, this is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page. And tonight's movie is 1983's The Lost Empire. Can you see that? This is the VHS copy right here. There's the side. There it is. Says it everywhere. And this VHS copy is actually extremely rare to find anywhere. If you look it up on eBay, if you look it up on Amazon, you'll just wind up trying to you'll keep coming up with this like Disney movie called The Lost Empire. But this was recently released for the first time ever on North American release on DVD. It went briefly out of print and it's back in print again. This is 1983's The Lost Empire. Reaching beyond space, beyond time, beyond imagination. Here's the back of the box right here. Two of the actors from the film. And you can see that amazing artwork. And you can actually find some of the foreign posters for this movie online. Look at the bottom there. You can see all that. The Lost Empire is Jim Wynorski's first film. Jim Wynorski, you know, from Chopping Mall to Death Stalker to Hard to Die to Sorority House Massacre 2, otherwise known as Nighty Nightmare. He even did Transylvania Twist. I mean, look him up on IMDb. The man is still making movies. He's made so many classic films in the exploitation horror genres, sexploitation genres. This film is definitely one of my favorite movies in general. The person who did the score for this film, if we go to the music first, is none other than Alan Howarth. Yes, Alan Howarth, the man who did the scores for Halloween's, working with John Carpenter, believe in 2 and 3, and then beyond that, he kind of took the reins in the Halloween series for a few more. And so this was Alan Howarth's first score for this film. And originally, you were only able to get this score on an extremely rare vinyl record or on a double. It was a CD that had two scores on it. It had The Lost Empire and also had an amazing 80s horror film put out by Code Red called Retribution, which Alan Howarth also did the score to. The music for The Lost Empire is just amazing synth, 80s synth, mysterious. Almost sounds like a video game sometimes, and then sometimes it just has a great exploitation, almost pinball game vibe. The movie mixes a lot of genres, and the music does too. Sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's mysterious, sometimes it's kind of pumping a synthesized beat. Sometimes it sounds Asian and multicultural. It goes all over the place. But if you like 80s synthesized music, this is the cream of the crop right here. And it was officially re-released from our, recently on CD about 2 years ago actually, and I think it's still in print, where it has the full score for the film and also unused cues, and it's just an unbelievable score. So the music for this film really is connected to the film itself. It sounds like an 80s video game. It sounds like when you first were playing, when Nintendo first came out and you were playing Nintendo at a sleepover or wherever you were playing it. That's what it sounds like. The you know the movie itself, I've told many people the movie is like the the pinball art come to life in a movie. That's what The Lost Empire is like. It's like pinball machine art come to life. Now, Jim Wynorski, this being his first film, Jim Wynorski in a lot of ways was almost a modern Russ Meyer because he always utilized big-breasted women, not as consistently or as much as Russ Meyer did. I mean, every Russ Meyer film had big-breasted women, but Jim Wynorski definitely was using sex, definitely was using breasts in particular. He was never, extremely explicit, especially with sex scenes. It was mostly just non-sexual nudity in a lot of regards, and it was always, kind of throughout his films, but not in, a lot of times it was just maybe a topless scene or a couple of topless scenes here and there and things like that. In this particular film, Wynorski has that. This was his first film, and actually he was dating Raven de la Croix, I believe her name was Raven de la Croix, I think, and she was absolutely huge in the breast area, and I believe she worked with Russ Meyer at some point. But Jim Wynorski was dating her, and she's in this film, kind of playing this Native American spirit presence or something. Yeah, more to come. Jim Wynorski's style in here is great. He gets some great shots throughout the film, kind of distant shots, and then he also zooms in the breast sometimes. Sometimes he's kind of like in a funny way. But the shots are really simple and they're really well done, and they just look great. Everything looks good. There's a lot of action sequences in here. So let's just get to the multiple genres in this film. This film utilizes so many genres. In the exploitation world as well, we have horror, of course. We have action. We have martial arts. Wow. We have supernatural. We have kind of the martial arts magic type of vibe. Um, we have women in prison. Yes. And we also, I'm trying to think here. We also have, of course, have sexploitation. And we also have, man, I think those are the genres right there. That how does that sound? I mean, this movie mixes so many genres and it does it really really well. And I think one of the things that is perfect about this film is that it's done very seriously. It takes itself seriously. A lot of films of this nature, at least nowadays, you would find them trying to really just be totally hilarious. And there are moments in this film that have that kind of funny vibe, but the overall film is done pretty seriously. Yes, there are funny moments throughout the film where you're kind of supposed to laugh or kind of supposed to smirk, like in that USA Up All Night sexploitation 80s type of vibe, you know? Especially with the nudity and the sexuality throughout the film. The lead characters in this film are women, including Raven de la Croix. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. So the leading characters are women, and there is just so much going on. There's this foreign island, there's martial arts masters, there's a creature, there's supernatural Native American spirits. I mean, there's so much stuff going on here. And I also got to tell you that the infamous phantasm Angus Scrim is in this film, and nobody ever talks about that. Angus Scrim, the tall man, is in this film, and he has a great role in here. There is a wild scene with Jim Wynorski's girlfriend and a snake, and I actually think that the cover is really meant to be Raven de la Croix, his girlfriend, and one of the leads in the film. And this was I mean, that looks like a pinball machine, doesn't it? Doesn't that look like the artwork for a pinball machine? Well, this movie, it's a pinball machine artwork come to life, and you really have it all in this film. Like I said, you know, you have a section of women in prison. You have oh my gosh, like dojo martial arts, you have spiritual stuff, you have, you know, crime and action and all of this and kind of, you know, wild characters. There's even the girl from the original Screwballs movie that Jim Wynorski kind of I think kind of worked on. He didn't direct it. I think he may have written it or something. But one of the girls in the film that's topless when she gets her breasts smushed up against the back of a van at a drive-in. I don't know if you've seen that movie Screwballs from the 80s. She plays a brief role in this film. We even have kind of a wild gorilla in this film, like an ape film also. This movie is late night, awesome, multiple genre 80s pinball machine come to life more than any film really that I've seen, mixed with the music, mixed with the vibes of the film. And the opening credits sequence is so badass. You're going to hear Alan Howarth's music just pumping in the opening credits of this film. And I really believe that if Alan Howarth's music was any different, it would have changed the entire vibe of this film because his music was really, for the most part, dead serious. Yeah, I mean, and it added so much atmosphere to this film. Nowadays, somebody would take this film and just put goofy music in it. And his serious, sometimes creepy, and very mysterious type of score really made this movie a lot of what it is. This is this is just an awesome film. It's a very rare film. It's not a talked about film enough, and it's called The Lost Empire. Wait till you meet Dr. Sindo. Yes. And wait until you go to his dojo, and wait till you go to the prison and see who's in there. This is a wild movie. Get it on DVD while you can by looking it up on Amazon. This is The Lost Empire 1983 by Jim Wynorski. If you like what you've heard, if you like USA Up All Night type films from the 80s, if you like exploitation from the 80s, if you like Jim Wynorski's films, and if you like movies that are sleazy and erotic and fun and mix tons of genres. You're gonna love this movie. There's a fight at the women in prison sequence. There's shower scenes. There's Raven de la Croix naked with a snake on her. There's women being tortured. There's women changing, very revealing outfits, women fighting. And really, there are elements of this film that really do have a faster Pussycat Kill vibe at times too. So, anyway, this was The Lost Empire 1983, directed by Jim Wynorski. Also has Angus Scrimm. Wow. Thank you for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page. And feel free to check out my own films at youtube.com/poopy diarrhea. That's it for tonight's movie, folks. Bye bye then.